Hello, Blue Justin here, still Justin, still not Blue, and it's time for the weekly haul. I'm very happy to say that it's not going to be as large as last week's, but there's still some good stuff in it. So hopefully the video itself won't go on as long as last week's unless I get into chatty mode again. So let's stop the chatty mode and get on with the showing you the haul mode. Right, first up we have an absolute science fiction classic. This is 2001 Space Odyssey, and as you can see this is the Titans of Cult edition. Again, with the stand thing of Titans of Cult, we've got I think this one's got an enamel pin which I can't see through the cover, but it's also it doesn't have a second enamel pin or a poster like they normally do. This one's got an embroidered patch which I can see through, but and if you would like me to, I should do an unboxing and show you what that's like. Put down in the comments below if you'd like me to do an unboxing of this one and show you what the actual steelbook is like, because I'm sure the steelbook will actually be a unique design, like they all are as far as I'm aware, to Titans of Cult. So they do one, it's unique. I've heard that the 4K, this is a 4K, is an absolutely stunning transfer, and though I still don't understand most of the back half of the film, I think I got confused very much when I got taken to see it when I was about 6 or 7 and haven't recovered since. I am really looking forward to watching it again, because I have learned an awful lot about what's supposed to be going on with the obelisks that first started to help man's evolution on Earth, and the second one, which they're now investigating, being on, I believe, Mars. So yeah, certainly a good start. This one is second-hand from eBay, but was very good price because the person who was selling it, I believe, was moving house. I was a bit concerned about whether or not they were trying to do a "I'm just about to disappear" move, but it turned up, unfortunately, about 4 days late after I went into a bit panic mode. Anyway, next up we have one that I think must have come out very recently on Blu-ray in the UK for the first time, because I've seen it on a few other people's hauls and buying up recently. But of course, being me, could I go out and just get the nice new UK one? No, of course not. I went and got the German metal one. This isn't actually a steelbook. For those who are technically minded, it's a future pack. And so as you collect steelbooks exclusively, they won't be necessarily after this one, but I think it's very, very nice. It's an interesting design. This is, as you can see from the front, The Fan. It's all about a baseball fan played by Robert De Niro, who, as he becomes more and more depressed, gets more and more obsessed with the game, and in specifically his favourite player, played by Wesley Snipes, and I can understand that as that mentally speaking, as you get more depressed, you do tend to obsess on individual items to the extent of all others to compensate for the fact you're in that situation, as I'm aware. But anyway, going on, this one is where he, as Wesley Snipes' character, the baseball player, has a slump in his performance. Robert De Niro's character being obsessed with him, gets more and more tied into the fact that he will do anything to help him recover from that slump and the trouble he's gotten himself into, including murder. So it turns into a thriller. So really looking forward to seeing this one. Two good actors when they want to be. I mean, Wesley has been in quite a few less than requirement of deep acting films. So, talking of which, another German import, as you saw, that was a German import. This one is Wesley Snipes doing what he normally does, which is Game of Death. This is, like I say, Wesley doing his shooting, killing this, that, and the other people. He goes in to sort out a problem with an arms dealer, and his CIA support decide to stab him in the back, probably more than literally, so he has to fight for his life. Now, I believe this is supposed to be a double-sided cover, and since it came to me second-hand, I'm starting to buy more of my things second-hand. I can quickly check that out. And in this particular case, though, it doesn't say on the front, it seems to be the case, so I'll just turn that round. And there, Wesley Snipes, Game of Death, without a huge, great, horrible rating sticker in the corner. Next up, we have my first proper, no, still a lie, my first steelbook that's not a Titans of Cult of the week, and that is Iron Man 2. This is, as you can see, the Mondo 4K. This is the second of the Mondo 4K MCU releases that I talked about last week, which had changed. A lot of the order had changed. I have noticed that even if you want to get all of them, even though they are all way too close together, at least they have tried, I think, to now put them all on separate Monday releases, so you don't actually have to buy more than one on a particular day. Still doesn't really help those who have got limited budgets or very limited budgets for the month, because they're not cheap, but it maybe helps those who want to spread their payments, especially as I think a lot of the Mondos in this country are Zavvi exclusives, so they can probably, if you really want to collect all the Mondos and there are problems with cash flow, should be able to spread it using one of their ClearPay or something schemes where you can pay it off over time. Obviously, that doesn't mean go out and spend more than you can afford. Please, pay attention that you still owe the money. So, but at least you can, as long as you can budget for it, then that is one way of doing it, at least, because that is an option that Zavvi and quite a few other places, in fact most of them except Amazon actually, do offer now. I think the cover is going to split opinion. A lot of people seem to be very much liking this comic book style, and I'm sure others will just be just as against it, but Mondo at least always do something different, which is nice to see, and looking forward to rewatching this when I open up, if I choose to open it up, instead of sticking to my 4K that I already have. Yep, I'm repeating them again. It's MCU, I'm an addict. Moving on. this is another one that I've seen quite a few people get recently. I liked the sound of it when it came out. It sounded quite interesting, a little bit outside what I'd normally get, not action or MCU, but at the same time, I thought that sounds like something I would like to watch in the slightly longer term, but I wasn't urgently going to rush out and buy it on day one, and by doing so the price has about halved, so that's good for me, so I decided to pick it up eventually, and that is that I'm a Cheerleader. This is the first one that's been out in the UK on Blu-ray. The DVD has been out for quite some years, and it's about it's a sort of an edgy comedy that follows a teenager who has a normal teenage existence with friends and cheerleading, but her straight-laced parents suspect she may be a lesbian just because she's not keen on particularly kissing her boyfriend at that age, and has pictures of girls in her locker. So of course they send her off to one of these horrendous True Directions rehabilitation camps that sort out your sexuality, otherwise brainwashing, and at which she follows the program until she develops feeling for another female camper, which probably she may not have done unless she'd been sent there. So Yabu sucks to stupid parents who think they can control the sexuality and development of their children with forceful means. So that's enough of my soapbox, and so on with the next one, which is back to my more normal fare, which is called I Come With the Rain, starring Josh Hartnett, 18 rated for strong bloody violence and strong sexual scenes. Josh plays an ex-cop turned private eye who's hired by a billionaire to search out his son, and following the trail to Asia ends up in Japan and going up against, Hong Kong, I beg your pardon, and ends up going against a powerful gangster, and also has to deal with that plus the trauma of his past and memories of a serial killer, and he must stay on track to find the missing son as the action-packed and explosive story reaches its end. The general idea is, the general opinion appears to be that it's one of Josh's best performances. Now, of course, they're not going to put that on the back unless they're not going to put a review says it's actually one of his worst performances. But needless to say, it probably means that it's not one of his worst performances. So I'm looking forward to seeing that a little bit. It's along the same sort of lines of quite a lot of slightly less well-known thriller type movies that I enjoy. But being as it's under £5, again, it's quite easy to pick up some of these things that if you keep an eye out for them very carefully. And talking of things that I've been, this actual one I have heard of before because I've been after it for a little bit. I think in actual fact it dropped down to almost Poundland prices at one point, but I missed the opportunity, and now it's shooting up in price again. When I saw a second-hand copy, I grabbed it because I liked the sound of it, and it is in good condition, so I was very pleased to pick this one up. And this one is Ill Manners. It's a directorial debut for... Oh, great. Should have thought that one through, shouldn't I? the director. Fantastic, well done. About a one man standing up to the gangs and dealers and armoured police units, clearing up the blood-filled streets in a city of violence, going up against the most vicious criminals that inhabit the underworld. So lots and lots of action and gunplay, I very much imagine. It's got it's 18 for, well, it says strong language, but I can't imagine there's not lots of violence in it as well. So I don't know why that's just the only reason they're putting down, especially because it's an 18. You don't give an 18 for strong language most of the time. It's got a making of a couple of music videos, a couple of short films as well, which is interesting, and some deleted scenes, and also a lecture and cast and crew interviews, which are unique to the Blu-ray and not on the DVD. So very much looking forward to that one. Yeah, like I said, I don't know why it suddenly shot up in price. I was looking at it when it was about £4 or £5, and it was definitely dropping down, but it suddenly kept on going up, and it's now around the £12 mark, and it's only supposed to be about recommended retail of about £20, and it came out an age ago. I'd expect it to be down at much lower price than this, but it's a second hand. I got it for under £5, so trying to keep within budget, probably failing, but there you go. Yeah, this is one that I've heard is very good and is expanding my Jason Statham collection, though I'm not sure how much he's in it, even though he appears in big letters on the front cover, and a picture of him does as well, and that is Cellular. This is the French edition, because the UK edition is hugely expensive for some reason. This does have obviously the English soundtrack, which I'm after. The essential plot is that Kim Basinger gets kidnapped and manages to cobble together a broken phone and just gets out a call to anybody to let them know that she's been kidnapped. The person who picks up the phone is played by Chris Evans. I believe this is his first film role. Now, of course, he's gone on to star in the MCU as Captain America, somewhere on the shirt. And I don't know where Jason Statham actually fits in. What I am confused about is the fact that if you read down the list of the credits list, I do happen to know in the order in which they're in. There's the credits are about, say, if the credits are yay long, then Chris Evans is about here and Statham's about here. So I don't know whether that's because they don't appear as much as it's trying to advertise, or whether or not the credits are in order of appearance and they still do play major roles. But I'm always interested in something that's a good action film with Jason Statham and Chris Evans and Kim Basinger. I mean, that's a pretty good cast to me, and I've heard good things about Cellular. It's also says that it's got an audio commentary, not very easy to translate. I'm trying to work out and documentaries about police corruption, so that's really interesting. I think that's what it means. Next one up is my first anime of the week, so I'll switch my default anime mode. And for what it's worth, the high school DxD that I've been watching, I've just finished season 2, and it did actually improve. Like I said, I didn't think it was quite as good as season 1. I think it really improved towards the end. And my other criticism about the minor, let's face it, it's a minor thing, about the theme music not being as good as on season 1, both of them, the start and end theme music changing. It's almost as though it knew what I'd said, because they decided to change the theme music halfway or just after I recorded my video last week. The episode that I watched next actually changed theme music halfway through a season, which is very unusual. They changed the whole graphic sequence and everything for the opening sequence and the closing sequence. Maybe it had been proven to be unpopular with watchers in the original series as well, and so they changed it then. I don't know, but no, it turned out very well indeed, and I just finished watching that and I've moved on to my next piece of anime that I'm watching, which isn't yet, but will be somewhat soon. A very highly regarded series called Fullmetal Alchemist. Now, this is the original Fullmetal Alchemist. I know that it goes on into film, 2 films after this, and then it leads into another series, which is Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Not another film, another series, sorry. This is part 1 of the original series, but it's not as thick as it looks. I shall show you a little bit now. This is quite interesting. I love the way they've actually done this. That is the what I received for part 1 of the series. That's the light slip that comes off. That's the inner, which is much thicker card, and inside that we have a different art on the front of the actual Fullmetal Alchemist part 1, which has the same barcode as on the back of there, which is quite annoying actually, very confusing for the way I record things in my library. However, interesting, as you can see here, I'll show you what it does do is it leaves a space for part 2. So you just have to buy, the idea is you buy the part 2 on standard Amaray case and slip it in to replace just a piece of little cardboard box there that's the right width. So it won't get any bigger once you've got the whole series, which is nice. I think it's going to look really good on the shelf. So it's the whole thing, but I haven't got part 2 yet. Next up, a film that I've been after for a little bit again. It sounded very odd and weird, therefore I liked it. But again, I've been waiting for a time when the price dropped a little bit, and this is the Intergalactic Adventures of Max Cloud. Basic plot is that a video game enthusiast called Sarah is transported into her favourite game, where she finds herself in an intergalactic prison, and she has to escape the prison by teaming up with superhero Max Cloud, who's part of the game, I assume, and battles the way through from the inside as a friend from her bedroom controls the game from the outside. And so that's looking quite an interesting idea, maybe a bit Tronish in that way. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. It's just got moderate violence and a rude gesture, so it's a 12. That's about the size of it. But again, I think it's, even though it has some Tronish little ideas maybe in there, nothing's always nothing's 100% unique, and I think it's taking it a little bit different route, so it'd be great. But that's it. Intergalactic Adventures of Max Cloud. And for the US viewers, it's just called Max Cloud in the US, I believe. And next up, which fits in quite nicely with that and with the anime, this is, I should just work out what the title is again, Hyperdimension Neptunia. Yep. This one sort of fits in, that's anime, this one, obviously, fits in with the idea, and this is a universe in which, it's a world where, game consoles come to life, and there are 4 kingdoms, obviously named after the appropriate consoles that they've made up. They would be in this world, they presumably be like Nintendo and Atari or whatever. And this one of them is Neptune, so I'm assuming that's where the main focus will come from, Neptunia. A lot of the rulers of the 4 kingdoms are the goddesses of each of the consoles. They usually ignore their royal duties and let them take a back seat to the fact they're all gaming addicts. But then when that's all interrupted by rampaging monsters, hacker attacks, and of course killer eggplants, the goddesses must fight for their right to game by becoming more powerful and, being as it's anime, sexier, more powerful versions of themselves. This is an American import. I think I got this one off eBay. Now, I can't remember whether there is a UK release of this, but I couldn't find it any cheaper than this one, and they're identical. So it's the usual sort of extras, commercials, promo videos with the textless opening and closing songs. So again, like I said, quite interesting ideas again. I mean, like a lot of the anime ones are quite bonkers, so it's good. I think this is the Essentials collection, so I'm not sure whether it's got some of these. This one, yes, I think this actually says, even though it doesn't say on the front, this one I believe has a digital version, which I think you get. It does say, it only says on the sticker. That sort of confused me. I was looking at the front, at the top, because this is the Essentials collection. There are some releases of this which, instead of writing Essentials, say Blu-ray and digital. So yeah, this is going through the Funimation versions of the digital copy. So yeah. Next up, this is the final season of a series that I have collecting for a long time. I believe it's season 5, which is the last one they're doing. And this is Van Helsing. Now, I believe that Comics Ghost has also picked this one up this week, but I didn't get to tell you about mine until now. Like I said, 5th and final season, and this is the main protagonist of the other seasons, and from the way it describes it, I haven't followed them all the way through the series yet, so but the way it describes it, they're all members of the Van Helsing descendants family, and this is their big showdown with the Dark One. So who's going to win between light and dark? I'm pretty hoping it's the light, so that'd be good. Like I said, really want to watch this right from the beginning all the way through, so that's going to be a lot of fun, along with a couple of others that I want to do similar things with, like Winona Earp, descended from Wyatt Earp with a demon killing gun. That's obviously this one's another one with the female descendant, in this case from Van Helsing, who goes out to kill evil and vampires. And following on from Van Helsing, see, I'm trying to link these together. It's all planned, you know. Honest sometimes. This is Helsing. This is an anime. H, yes. Where a rogue vampire and a policewoman who he has turned after she dies in line of duty work for the Helsing Foundation of the British Empire against satanic ghouls and Nazi freaks through the foggy streets of London. So that sounds really, really good to me. It's this one, despite the fact it's only standard width, does actually combine the 3 original volumes, or multiple original episodes. I'm not actually, it's only 482 minutes, so I'm imagining, even though it says volumes 1 to 10 on the front, or volumes I to X, I think it was released broken down into very much shorter 4 episode releases before, which was taking up a lot more shelf space and probably been a lot more expensive. It's got some nice extras with episode commentaries, interviews with the cast and staff, a couple of panels at various anime expos, a separate Japanese ending. No, I don't know whether that's like an alternative ending type thing. Sort of a karaoke version of a certain area, fans' questions and answers, documentary, promo videos, TV commercials, again with the textless songs. The anime do love their textless songs. I like watching them, so that suits me. So yes, that's Helsing Ultimate, it calls it. It's obviously based on the series Helsing, but the release is Helsing Ultimate. Just a whole lot. It's 18 rated for strong bloody violence and sexual violence. All good stuff. This is one I continue on my merry way with importing, because despite the fact the BBC, as usual, claims it's one of their standout series that they make, will they actually release it in HD over here? Oh no. We're just very proud of this series. We just can't be bothered to actually release it in high definition or Blu-ray, and that's Killing Eve. This is season 3, and as you can see, again, and as I explained, I had to import it from America, and this one's got quite a few special features: Spice Kill, Bitter Pill, Meet the Team, world, lots of just general features, psychology of the killer, hiding in plain sight, nothing is what it seems, that sort of spy thing which I'd only expect from such a high quality series. And there's last up is one that is another anime one that I have picked up, which is Cabinetry of the Iron Fortress. This one's quite relatively straightforward idea of sort of a zombie-esque type idea of world overrun with the who infect humans with an appetite for flesh, viral infection. So the humans have retreated to huge fortresses with massive walls, and they're rescued there by huge armoured trains. The Cabinetry are almost impossible to kill because they have steel around their hearts which you have to penetrate to kill them. yet one of the people working on the trains thinks he has a weapon developed that will do the job, and he gets to have to use it sooner than he expected. So that sounds quite exciting. Strong violence, bloody images, as you'd expect from a 15 rated zombie type creation. So that's it for this week's haul. As I said, quite a lot shorter than last week's. For what it's worth, nobody has yet claimed or by entering the prize for last week's video of the Blu-ray of Scarface. If you'd like to go back and have a look through that and have a go at entering, please do. It's very simple. You just have to watch the video and answer the question at the end. And in the meantime, I shall let you get on, and I shall hope you enjoy your week and keep on watching the TV, the movies, hopefully getting to the cinema sooner rather than later, and stay well and look after yourself out there. You know, it's the virus is still out there. Be very careful. And talking of people unwell, all the best to Pete, Blu-ray Bullet Brick Ainsley, who's obviously we know is not very healthy at the moment and is suffering. So get well soon, Pete. I'm really thinking of you, and cheers.